welcome back for another episode here with your girls on Mindset Talks Podcast. You already know Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, aside from your favorite podcasting platforms, is where you can find your girls. So go ahead, don't forget to hit that like, go ahead and comment, share, and subscribe because we are here to give you content weekly.
We sure are. And I must say, you are getting so good at that introduction. I'm proud of you.
Thanks, girl. I don't even practice. That's how good it is. But today's episode has quite a bit of relationship talk. And I feel like that is one of my favorite topics to talk about with
Oh
you
gosh.
because we don't really know how it's going to turn out,
That's true.
right? And we are very similar, but very different in some ways too. So always just makes for a good conversation. And I'm also interested in hearing our listeners and viewers' feedback as well, because I feel like a lot of this, there can be many varying opinions. And we're all so different, and I'm really intrigued to hear how different people respond because, again, some of this that we're going to review today is actually from what I've seen others discussing. So I do want to, our following and what you guys think and how you feel, or, are we crazy? You on the same page? Whatever the case may be.
All right. Well,
So
what you got?
before we jump deep into it, I wanted to bring up this conversation my man and I were having, which was striked by another conversation, which you and I will discuss here. But if a woman is, say, at the beach with her man and his family, right?
Okay.
Is it appropriate or inappropriate for her to be in a thong bikini, like at the beach, like with his parents?
Well, if you had listened to one of our previous episodes, and not you, but
right, no,
our
I know
listeners
what you're talking about.
have listened to one of our previous episodes, which I wish I remember what it was called. Probably wedgies and something.
Yes.
But you already know my thoughts on this one is that you should not be wearing a thong bikini at any point in time in your life. So I don't care who you're around, where you're with, or whatever. It's just a big fat no for me.
Yes. So it's funny because my man brought this up just as something he's heard about that someone he knows has experienced. And it was like, well, one person didn't see anything wrong with that situation.
Probably the one doing it.
Right. Whereas I'm like, no, that's not okay. And he's like, why? And I said, because of his parents being there, that's not appropriate to me.
Yeah, it's mad weird.
Whereas if it's just them, sure, do whatever you want to do. But we know how you feel about those thong bikinis. So then it kind of just transcribed into well, is it because it's not because of the outfit, it's because of location. I'm like, no, well, it's both, because it's like, would you be in the house with someone's parents in a thong bikini? And then it turned into, well, is lingerie and underwear any different from each other?
You mean lingerie and swimwear?
Lingerie, swimwear, underwear, are they any different from each other?
Well, in this day and age, no. It's for the short answer. No, because there at some point in time when we were growing up in like our teens to like young adulthood, lingerie turned into outside wear. So I don't know at what point that happened along the way, but the way society views it is that they are one and the same, I guess you could say, because you're wearing that shit outside in public. So, I don't know. But for us old school heads, I don't know about that.
Yeah, no. So it was just interesting because it's just like in that type of situation doesn't really matter on the location. It's just like what it is and who's there. But it's just a random conversation we had that came about from this original conversation. And again, something I seen, sounds like a great debate, but is it all right for a woman to accept free drinks from someone else say another man, if
Mm-hmm.
she's into men, or, maybe someone who would be interested in her and that she could be interested with while she's out for girls' night. Is it okay for her to accept that free drink?
Well, is this person single or are they in a relationship?
I mean, tell me how you feel about both ways.
Well, there's a few different factors here. Well, my
Okay.
opinion is slightly different than a conversation that I had with my boyfriend about it, where his is a little more, I don't know, if you would say like strict or whatever, but like, so if you're
Mm-hmm.
in a relationship, like absolutely not. Like you shouldn't be accepting any kind of free shit from anyone because nothing
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day is free. Um,
Understood.
but if you're single, I feel like it's okay to accept a free drink given you got to think about what you're doing, right? Because a lot of times when you're getting these free drinks, like I just said, right, like nothing's for free,
Mm-hmm.
so people either want your time, your attention, they're interested in you, which is the reason why they're doing this gesture in the first place. So
Mm-hmm.
you just kind of have to like keep that in mind and be prepared for whatever might come with that. um
Right.
but it's more acceptable to me if you're single, but I think it's a huge no if you're in a relationship. And as my boyfriend very clearly put it, oh, so you're single.
Oh, oh. So it's funny because it's like my man and I were like pretty much on the same page about this, but we were so open to the different perspectives on it.
Mm.
So for us, we're not bothered if someone offered us a free drink and if we took it,
Well, in a
because
relationship.
while in a relationship.
Mm.
And it's because the actions that are taken, one, in receiving the drink, and two, after receiving the drink. So, say, you're at the bar, bartender passes you a drink. Hey, that's from so and so down there. Cool, thanks. I'm gonna have my drink. But when they come over to you, if they come over to you, because you could always get a free drink, say from like an older couple or something. Sometimes that happens.
I mean, maybe.
Could be, but they could be like swingers or something and could be interested in you. Oh, she's cute, free
Oh
drink,
God.
but may never approach you.
Yeah.
Hey, that's fine. You just got a free drink. But the thing about getting a free drink is, yes, like you said about being single, you have to think about what may come with that.
Mm-hmm.
If someone tries to approach you, I feel like that's regardless if you're single or in a relationship, because again, that was that person's choice to give you that free drink. They gave you a free drink unknowingly about what you're dealing with in life, and they're taking a chance. Just because you're taking a chance doesn't mean that you're going to be able to fully shoot your shot or you're going to be able to get anything from it. So,
Yeah.
someone can get you a drink, and sure, if you accept it, what are you doing now after that point? That is the biggest question, because I feel like that's a test to people's relationships as well when temptation comes in the way,
Mm.
if they are tempted.
Mm-hmm.
So, how secure, and I'm not saying people who say no are insecure in any way whatsoever,
Mm-hmm.
but also it makes you question how secure are you in your relationship if someone maybe feels threatened or intimidated by their spouse or significant other accepting a drink from someone else.
I mean, I just don't see the point because, like, growing up and like going to the clubs and like whatever,
Mm-hmm.
like people would give free drinks and stuff all the time, but it's like it was
Right.
always with some other kind of like intention. It was never just like, oh, I just feel like giving you a free drink just because, like,
Right. Right. No, I
why
get it.
not? But I don't know. I just think it's like kind of weird, but I don't know. As long as y'all are
Yeah.
on the same page with that, I think that works and
Oh,
makes
for
sense.
sure.
But yeah.
Is it something we would typically do or really do? No, but it's just, I feel like it's always, and I'm glad that you guys had that conversation because I feel like that's always a good conversation to have in general with your
Hmm.
significant other because, I'm sure there's plenty who haven't had that conversation and has probably negatively affected their relationship over something so simple and stupid.
Yeah, maybe. But I also think it's interesting though too, because like in my mind, well,
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually a little surprised that like you guys are kind of okay with it. Cause like in my mind,
Mm-hmm.
like that's just like an automatic, like just like a no. Like you would just turn around
Mm-hmm.
and say like no thank you, or
Right, right.
me.
See, and for us, it's if the person that is proposing you the drink is there giving you it, for us, we're like, nah, I'm all set. But if it's just kind of like the person's way down yonder and the bartender is like, oh, this is from so and so, cool, because then I have time to ditch and leave and disappear also after I have my drink.
Oh, okay. So you're saying it's not acceptable if someone comes up to you and says, "Hey, can I buy you a drink?"
Right. That's totally different. That's
Ah,
totally
oh,
different.
okay. That's not what
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't
Well, I mean,
thinking
because
someone's
it could
gonna
be
be like,
approached
"Oh,"
different ways.
I mean, I guess, but I feel like it's more common to like have someone like do it to your
Face
face
to
or
face.
yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny because my man laughed at me. He's like, he said, regardless of your response, I think it's the same if you're in a relationship or not. He was like, even if you're single, you would still respond the same way as in a relationship. He's like, just because of how you are with people. And I'm like, yeah, because me personally, someone like other than the bartender giving me a drink, I'm just automatically gonna think there's a roofie in that bitch. And I'm like, oh gosh. In my younger years, not so much, but now being older and just
Yeah.
experiencing different things. No, I've never been roofied, but just experiencing different things and seeing a lot of things and just being mindful, I would be less to if I were to be single, I'd be so much less to take a drink from someone. And even so, from the bartender, still questionable too, right? Like that's no
Yeah.
guarantee, but it's less likely, I'm sure, to happen from that person than some random person coming out of nowhere, like, hey, let me buy you a drink. And it's just like, yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's always the creeper too. You're like,
Yeah.
I mean, I want the free drink, but it's not really worth it because I don't want to have to like dodge you all night because that's just annoying.
Exactly. Because it comes with responsibilities. And it's just like, I don't know. I think a part of my response too is just how and where I am in my life today, and I'm so much more willing to tell people no,
Yeah.
or I'm so much more willing to tell people what I may have been afraid to say in the past to not hurt someone's feelings. Like I'm kind of getting over sparing other people's feelings, so it's just like, well, the fuck, you bought me the drink. I don't know why you automatically expected something. You gave it for free. You should have came over here and talked to me first to see what the fuck I was about before you want to go ahead and spend your money on a drink for someone who ain't going to entertain you.
Yeah.
But I ain't gonna put that much effort into it. I don't even be out anyway, so I was
Well,
just curious on,
yeah. No, that's
the
true.
situation.
But you also remember the last time that we were offered free shots?
Hmm? Did somebody say bowling? I love bowling.
Oh man,
Ooh.
what a night. Y'all just fucked up my dad's dreams that night.
Damn, bitch, don't put that on me. Damn.
I said y'all, I didn't say you.
And
So
I
I'm
was
not,
included in it. I don't want to be on. I don't want to be included. I don't.
you have to
I
be
was a
included.
Anywho, I was a mere bystander. But let's go ahead and jump into this next topic so that people don't just keep on wondering what we were talking about. I'm just gonna say Brandon Merriweather, but anyways, so
Oh god.
so really, really, really one thing that I found an
Mm.
interesting ass post online. So y'all know I stay away from the tea. I'm not with like the gossip news on social media, but I do still have a little bit of fuckery on my page because I gotta laugh every here and there. So, but I'm just not up with the celebrity tea, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I seen this post and it says, ladies, arrange these in the order of importance. So listen clearly, y'all,
Oh
okay?
gosh.
So we're gonna filter this a little bit, but we all know that eggplant emoji, right? And what it stands for when we type that eggplant emoji. So when it comes to a man, his manlyhood eggplant emoji size,
Oh god.
money, looks, loyalty, and personality. What are those in the order of importance? So his manhood size, money, looks, loyalty, and personality. What is your order, Cassie?
Oh god. You know,
Tell us something about your men of life.
you said importance though. That doesn't
Yes.
mean
No, I know. I'm just messing with you, girl.
um
She over here like, you about to get me
see, well, no, but that's a hard one though,
shot.
right? Because
Mm-hmm.
so I have like one view in my head, but then I guess there's also
I don't know if that was the right choice of words, but okay.
oh, I just anyways.
I think she meant perspective, maybe. I was a
Let
guess.
me you said you're trying to put words in my mouth and shit. Um
We're
Yo,
listening.
Amanda's a child.
They say never lose your childness or whatever they call it, your youth.
Oh God.
Go ahead, girl. We're listening. We're listening.
Well, I feel like this is a lot more complicated than than it should be. Because all right, so like what I want to say is loyalty is number one. And then looks, because you have to look attractive for me to get to know your personality, because I'm not going to know your personality first unless I talk to you, because anyways.
Damn.
So then I guess I would say out of those last two, right? I don't know. I guess then I would say money and then size is kind of like how my first glance kind of would be. But I did,
okay.
Well, I don't know if cheating is the right word, but I did talk to my boyfriend about this one too. And I didn't tell him my answer, but I was asking him what his would be, minus the ones that don't apply to.
Right.
And he said for men, it's, loyalty, looks, personality, like I had just said. And money they don't care what women make when it comes to money and whatever. And he went into this whole tangent about how, women say they want loyalty, but they don't really mean it. And this kind of stuff and whatever. And I was just kind of well, I don't know. I understand what he's saying, but for me personally, I don't believe that to be true. But now I'm just
right, because it's not applicable.
But I don't know though, right? Because then we got into a deeper conversation. Because his thing, I don't know if anyone's understanding what I'm trying to put down here, is that women just care about not just, but women care a lot about money when it comes to who they're with, because how did he put it? He was women are more likely to dump a broke man than they are to one that cheats on them. And went into this
and that has money.
Yes, exactly. Who's successful, because they're the ones that are more not willing, but more capable or
to take care
whatever
of them.
But then to cheat, right? So that had me thinking, because I guess for me, money is important to a point, I guess. I want someone to make at least as much as I do, because to me that just makes sense. I wouldn't want to make or be with someone that makes half of what I do, or whatever, just because I feel if I am where I am, there's no reason why you can't match me. So I guess money would be important. So maybe I should move it up in my little rating, but I don't really know where it would fall, because I do think that, looks and loyalty are huge things. So I don't know, maybe I would say loyalty, looks, money, and then personality and stuff. I don't know.
Damn, girl.
No, I feel I'm taking a very long time to kind of explain my answer here, but
no, I mean, it's not necessarily easy to choose, because it can be switched for different people, right? The format that you may prefer may be tweaked because something just shines much more brightly than something else at the top of the list. So I don't think that's easy to pick. I mean, I sat here and thought about it while you were talking about it, but I can definitely say I differ, and personality has to be at the top of the list for me, because if I don't like your personality, that's hard. Because you can have people who look good, but then their personality is trash.
Oh, definitely.
You know what I mean? And it's just, I've been blinded by that before in my past. So just going off of looks, but then it's just yo, you're you could be a better person, I'm sure, but you're not being that right now. And man, and that's hurtful to, allow yourself to accept that when that may not be what you're really looking for. So for myself, I would say personality definitely has to be number one, and then loyalty. The old me would definitely have looks at the top of the list. Looks would be number one. Motherfucker, you better be appealing to these eyes.
Well, I mean, you have to be somewhat attracted to get to understand and know these other things, right? So
right. Right. And it's just like I've had also in instances where I've had loyalty at the top of the list because again, my list would change after previous people I've dealt with. So
Mhm.
it's like, oh no, we got to move that off the top of the list because that wasn't working last time. So we're going to put this at the top.
Yeah.
But and then also too, ourselves change as well
Hmm.
and what we focus on. So, I would say personality, loyalty, looks, and money and size because if you at least because I feel like actually, I don't know that. All right, so I kind of see where you were.
Where I was, wait, with what point?
Kind of just like getting a little stuck here. Um,
It's hard
no,
to really rate it, you know?
right. I would still say money before the manlyhood size, and I say that because I like to be able to do things given my life may not be granting me that time at this current moment,
Hmm.
but I like to be able to go out and do things, and I've been with broke bitch boys before, and yeah, it just doesn't, it just like fulfill that like the list. It doesn't feel complete, I should say. So
Are you though
yeah.
okay with being with someone that doesn't make a certain amount of money? Or that, yeah, that doesn't make a certain amount of money? Like, do you have like a number in your head, like when you're,
I don't have a number in my head.
Mhm.
For me, it's more so and when I look at money, it's not necessarily just a number that they make, but also their financial status. Like how good are you with money? It's
Mhm.
not only about the amount of money you have, but how do you handle your money?
Mhm.
And like just the I guess the I don't I don't know the correct word to say it, but it's just that whole sector of money in general and many different
Yeah, your money
branches.
management,
Like,
like, yeah.
yeah, like for me, like that I feel like is what I refer to as money as a whole. So I don't necessarily just think of a specific salary amount. I've
Mhm.
never really thought of it as a specific salary amount,
Mhm.
but I guess if I sit here and reflect on it and think about my answer, like, yeah, I definitely want a dude who's making at least as much as I am. I personally rather my man make more money than me. I'm actually fine with my man being the breadwinner. I have absolutely nothing against that. This is a situation
Mhm.
I'm in right now, and I'm trying to quit my job. No, but it's like
I'm trying to
I'm
match
not.
mine. Better not
I'm
make
not.
more than me.
See, and for me, like that's never been but I think it's just that's just never been a thing I really looked at. I just
Mhm.
know that if you broke, I can't fuck with you. Like, and it sounds shallow, maybe, but it's just I know what I can and can't tolerate, and I've tried it before, and it don't work. So, and I was even making as much money I am now as I was then. So,
Mm.
it'd be like that.
Yeah.
It just be like that. So yeah. I'm interested to hear what y'all statuses are because we all different people and we all operate differently and depending on what's important to ourselves and what we want in life is gonna really affect that list.
Yeah, no, it definitely will because a lot of them you can, like you said, like you kind of go back and forth and like, they all have their own sense of importance. So
Mm-hmm.
it's really kind of hard to like weigh them in the order
Mm-hmm.
because it's like, I don't know, can you do without any of them? Like, can
Wait,
someone,
the ones we listed?
yeah. Like, can you remove one of them and like still be okay if like someone doesn't have like one of those
No,
traits?
I'm gonna tell you right
So,
now. No, no, no. There's a minimum size for the size and like
just no micros.
I'm not saying anything. That's all. I'm just gonna say I can't do without anything on that list. That's all.
All
Cassie's trying
right.
to set me up, y'all.
No,
But
I'm not.
anywho,
I'm not trying to set you up at all.
I don't know what's her motive over here.
Not at
But
all.
speaking of doing without, right, on a list. So one last thing here.
Mhm.
Again, another hot topic I seen that I just had to bring up here on our show.
Oh God.
So there are different parts of a relationship, and it doesn't necessarily, I mean, I guess it really has to be, it doesn't really have to be romantic, but I feel like it's more in that
Oh, we're
direction,
already
especially for us.
talking about, yeah, let's just stay with romantic.
We're just going to stay there. That's fine. So we have chemistry,
Mm. Wait, are
compatibility.
we rating these? What are we doing?
Hold on, I'm going to tell you in a moment.
Oh, what is
And
it?
I'll
Say
repeat
it
them.
again.
Don't worry. Chemistry. I know you too well.
Ah,
Compatibility,
shit.
communication, commitment, and consistency. So, out of those five, which I will repeat,
Okay.
what can you not do without? You have to pick
Hmm.
one that you cannot do without in a relationship.
Okay.
Again, chemistry, compatibility, communication, commitment, and consistency.
One that you can't do without.
That you
Um,
absolutely cannot do without.
hmm. Hmm. What do you say? Chemistry, communication, compatibility.
Commitment and consistency.
What would you say is difference between chemistry and compatibility?
Chemistry, I feel like, is like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like, I would say like
That
more of like a
spark.
sexual,
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, like it's not necessarily just sexual, but it's just like you said, that spark. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's something that just can't really be explained more so. Whereas compatibility is like, oh, we both like movies and we both
Ah,
like
that's what
books,
you
you
mean.
know.
Okay. That what'd you say? Communication, who and what?
Hmm. Commitment and consistency.
Commitment and consistency. Hmm. Which one you can't do without? Does that imply that you can do without the others?
Like if the others were to not be there, you you would fare better than the one you picked that you can't do without.
Oh man. That's kind of a tough one. I'm really struggling here to think about which one you can't do without. But I guess like my gut is kind of telling me that I really can't do without chemistry.
Mm.
I feel like for me that's kind of like a huge one, and like this is probably gonna like sound kind of weird because it's like a thought that like I always have, but like I don't I never like say it out loud because I feel like it's just like kind of weird. But like I don't know if you have ever felt like this or whatever, but like I just feel like when two people are truly meant to be together, like when you are like together, like intimate in any kind of capacity, whether it's just like hugging or holding hands or whatever, like
Hmm.
it just feels like it just like goes together. Like in my head, I always compare it to kind of just like two like puzzle pieces coming together that like just
Mm.
fit. Like
Yeah.
there's one other puzzle piece that just like fits like your grooves, I guess
Hmm.
you can
You should
say.
look groovy. You
Like
sound all old.
I don't really know how to like explain it, but like and it's just something about like that feeling, that like
Hmm.
connection that just kind of like I don't know. To me, like I can't do without that. Like if I don't feel that and I don't feel like we are like connected, then like
Hmm.
I don't know. I just feel
It's
like
like, what are you here for?
yeah.
Hmm. Now what if it's the same situation of picking one you can't do without, but the other ones aren't completely gone? Like say they fade in and fade out. Is that still going to be your same response? So like say like there's
Uh,
consistency, but then things feel inconsistent, and then there's consistency and
um, I think I understand your question. I'm gonna
hmm.
say that it could change because like I understand like in relationships like you're gonna love each other and you're gonna hate each other at times. Like that's gonna go in and out. So like,
Hmm.
I might not want to feel you holding my
Hmm.
hand and and whatever to like
Right,
make me feel.
right.
So I mean, I guess
What would you pick?
um one if it doesn't go in and out.
Yeah, so one, like if everything were to be like a wave, like it comes and goes and comes and goes, what is the one that you couldn't what is one that you would pick that you would not accept to come and go, that it has to stay
Mm,
strong?
I would say, what were the last two? Communication, consistency.
Commitment,
Oh, commitment.
compatibility,
Commitment.
chemistry.
Hmm.
Mm.
Consistency or commitment? I'm kind of tossing around those two. I would go with, and y'all have to bear with me because I did not think about this one before we recorded. So these are my raw thoughts. I think I would have to go with commitment.
Mm. Okay.
Because, like,
Why?
no matter what you go through, like, you're gonna go through like fights and like whatever, kind of like I was mentioning with the whole chemistry thing. But like, I need to
Mm-hmm.
know that, like, at the end of the day, like, you are always committed to this
Mm-hmm.
relationship. And that's kind of like a reason why I have grown to be very in like marriage and stuff, because I feel like things can happen when you're married. Like, I completely understand that, but like, it just
Mm-hmm.
shows, it's that like extra gesture that shows that like you are committed to this, and like it gives you
Yes.
that kind of like security to where, like, no matter what happens, if you guys don't talk to each other for like a week or whatever, like, you still know at the end of the day, like, that person's committed to you. And if you
Mm-hmm.
don't have that, then I don't know, I feel like it's really hard to kind of like get that back.
Are there any certain ways or specific ways that you need to have commitment shown to you?
Not necessarily, I don't think. I
Okay.
think like once it's established, um, then it's just kind of like it's just always there. Like, there's nothing else that's like really needed, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, don't do like dumb shit to
Questionable
like,
things.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. But like, as
Mm-hmm.
far as like proving and showing something, like, no, I don't think so.
Gotcha. Okay.
No. Yeah,
Nice.
I don't know. What about you now that I've gone through all this with a lot of pondering?
Well, I would say that I did think into this a little bit, like not a lot, but I think regardless of, if it's just one I can't do without in general, or just one with the waves and ebbs and flows type of thing,
Mm,
communication's at the top of my list. Like
mm,
for me, communication, I feel like covers everything on the list in the way that I think about it.
mhm,
Because if any of those other categories, chemistry, compatibility, commitment, consistency, if any of those are lacking, communication is a way, one, to understand
mm,
what's happening in your relationship, and two, why it's happening.
mhm.
So if you can't even communicate, for me,
Yeah,
if you can't even communicate, then like what do you have going on?
that's true. That is true.
Like, and then also too, again, from just previous experiences and just being more to speak to my partner about things that I may have hesitated to talk about to others in the past. And just, I think also just being more in touch with myself.
Mhm,
So, I feel like communication has been something I've been really working towards in my relationship and maintaining.
mm.
So I feel like that is where it can help hiccups, or it can just address things even sooner. So then that way it's not just like some sour ass relationship being dragged on.
Yeah. No, that's true. That's a big one, and it's definitely important. I probably just didn't pick that one because I'm not the best communicator.
You just don't
Um,
like to
I
communicate.
don't. And I bottle things up until like it really bothers me, and then I'm like, okay. So
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
Yeah, we're learners over here. We've come to, well, again, it's just like, like establishing how everyone does things
Hmm.
and through communication.
Right.
So it's just I'm someone who can't talk right after a situation. Like, don't talk. Like, I don't talk to me. Just don't talk to me, please.
Yeah.
Because I need time to think about, because I'm gonna just say some shit just to say some shit.
Right.
And then that's not even gonna be what I really wanted to say. So
Yeah.
we've come to learn around here. Just give it a few days, you
Days.
can go ahead and
Oh,
bring it back up. Yeah, no,
okay.
it's like in only a few days, depending on what type of situation it was.
Mm.
Because it's also like if you do it the very next day, sometimes it's like still a little too soon, depending on the situation.
Yeah.
And it's like you don't really give the other person enough time to cool off or really think about it.
Hmm.
And because it's like we still have to work and do everything else in life too. So you
Right.
don't
Right.
really have time to think about whatever may have upset you or
That's true.
whatever. So usually like 2 days is like what we go for.
Mm.
And then it's just like, yeah, so you remember the other day when this, that, and the third, this, and then it's just like, then like it's not even like squashing it because there's really no beef, but it's just like a misunderstanding is really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, all right, cool. All right, what you want for breakfast? Yeah.
No, I think that's great. I
So.
think that's super important. I like that you guys have that and that you do that, because I feel like over here, like once 2 days pass, like it's in the past. Like we just forget about it, whether it's still on your mind or not. You just, don't bring that shit up. You just carry on about
Just
your
keep it
business.
pushing. Nothing like being in the present, I tell you.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I think also us to hold on to things more than we like to. So it's our way of also letting it go.
Gotcha.
So
that's good though.
And y'all know your girl ain't in therapy no more over here. So I gotta get my shit off my chest at some point.
Oh, that is true. Don't be like me, y'all. Don't be bottling that shit up, because it will explode.
Oh my gosh. But yes, no, that was good. I liked the fact that you just took the time to think about your responses, because we know you don't really like to get too deep into things.
Here we go.
So listen, I'm just saying thank you. I ain't gonna go on and on. I'm just saying thank you. That's all. That is all. So
well, I gotta make sure I'm giving some genuine responses here. So there you go.
Yes, girl. Yes. So anything else for today's episode before we go ahead and wrap it on up?
I don't think so. I think that gives people a lot of things to kind of think about, and definitely curious to hear other opinions and seeing how, I don't want to say like far off we are, because everyone has their own kind of thing that, that they go for and whatever. So I'm just curious to kind of see like the differences in opinions and lifestyles out there. So
Yes. There's many of us. Well, thank you all again for go ahead and tuning in with your girls here on another week of your favorite podcast, Mindset Talks Podcast. And until next time.
Bye, guys.